Okay, thanks everybody for joining today. This is the first of a series of webinars about the Virginia Telecommunication Initiative 2021 project, which encompasses 10 different areas of Albemarle County. And we're really excited that you took time out to join us today. First, I'm going to welcome everybody and just introduce the folks that are going to be presenting during this. First is Jason Inafuentes, and Jason is a new member of the Albemarle County Broadband Office, otherwise known as the Broadband Accessibility and Affordability Office. So Jason and I work together on a daily basis on a number of things, and we've got a specific slide that briefly goes through what the office responsibilities are. And then Dolores Carroll is here with us from Centurylink Lumen. She is the regulatory director. So she's a government regulatory director that works with us. And also Trish Stepanovich, who is stationed in Charlottesville, but she is the regional operations manager for all of Virginia. So she's got a big responsibility and includes all of Albemarle County. So we've got some great people from Centurylink Lumen on, and we're supported by Steve Brewer, who is the Director of Government Affairs, who was not able to join us today, but is well aware of this project and is an important aspect of the project. So that's the group that's going to be talking today. We appreciate you guys listening to us, and we'll have questions and answers at the end. We want to thank the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors. Their funding has been specific to this particular project, so we really appreciate the work to appropriate funds to make this project happen. The Albemarle Broadband Authority is the overriding regulatory authority, so we are the partner. The Broadband Authority is the partner with the state and Centurylink Lumen in this particular project. We also receive a lot of support from departments in Albemarle County government. You know, I mentioned during the startup to this, we have IT support on all of our video calls. So that's welcome and incorporated into everything we do. And our finance department does a great job supporting the financial part of this. We also have a grants administrator and a number of other people within the county, including Richie DeLoria, who is our legal counsel. So Richard DeLoria is a great partner with us. I skipped over the Broadband Authority. The members there are Bucky Walsh, she is the chair, Waldo Jakewith, who is the vice chair. And then we have support from staff from Trevor Henry, who's the assistant county executive, as well as Bill Fritz, who works in the planning department. And then two Board of Supervisor representatives, Supervisor Liz Palmer from the Samuel Miller District and Supervisor Donna Price from the Scottsville District. So we really appreciate all the help that comes from the Broadband Authority. Finally, the most important partner here from a funding perspective is the Department of Housing and Community Development. This would absolutely not be possible without the work of Tamara Holmes and her group of great people down at the DHCD, a state agency that handles VATI. And then everyone who's on this call and the people who put in letters of support and put in speed tests and just helped us with our application. Without you, the application would not have been successful. So we really appreciate the effort that went on back in 2019. So all of this was done pre-pandemic. You know, it's been a long while since the application was submitted, and we're getting to the point where we're starting to hit the road. So it's a good time, and we're glad that you're on board, and thank you for helping us get the application through and approved. Next slide. Thanks, Jason. So VATI, the Virginia Telecommunication Initiative, was established in 2017. It's a grant process. We've been very successful. Albemarle County and the Broadband Authority and Centurylink Lumen have been successful in receiving grants from the state on this particular project. So we're very thankful for how the state has helped us move broadband forward throughout the Commonwealth. There's a lot of great folks in Richmond working on this, and more to come on that. So we are proud to be partners with the DHCD folks, and without them, we wouldn't have this. So we are really looking forward to this new project. And, you know, it's been going on for a while, but now that it's hitting the ground running, we have learned from our prior VATI applications and projects, And all of those learnings will be applied in our 2021 project. So we've learned a lot. We're going to improve, continue to improve. We are a county of continuous improvement. So we're looking forward to working with everybody to make this one the best VATI project ever. So next slide. All right, so Jason, you want to take this over and talk about our broadband accessibility and affordability office?
Sure, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, on this, great.
Okay. So this is a relatively new office. It's right now just the two of us. Mike is the director and I'm the program manager. We were formed in May of 2021. I was brought on in September. And we use as our organizing principle the county's mission, which most importantly seeks to enhance the well-being and quality of life for all citizens. And as we interpret that, we are working to ensure that residents of all means have access to adequate and affordable broadband service. To clarify, accessibility means having service available to the home, which obviously is a big part of what VATI 2021 is addressing, especially for all of you attendees. This is the meat of it. Affordability means service offerings that include low-cost options within reach of all residents. And that is, those are the two legs that our stool stands on. We do have a third leg. We're not going to topple over. The third leg is digital literacy. But right now, the priority is access and affordability. And once we are comfortable that we've advanced in those, we're going to start working on digital literacy initiatives. One thing to highlight, and I'm going to drop this into the chat right now for everybody to see, but we would really appreciate enhancing our communication with you guys. So as part of that, we have a brief registration link. Telephone callers, we will make sure that this link is posted on the VATI 2021 page on our website. But we would like you guys to give us a little bit of information, which project area you're in, your email address, and that way, as this project continues over the next year or so, we're going to be able to be in touch as often as we need to make sure that you guys have all of the information that you need. So that link is in the chat right now. Feel free to go ahead and click on through and get that registered either now or at least open it now. So that way after the call, you can fill it out.
Thanks, Jason. So now Trish and Dolores will take us through their slides. I want to remind everyone that questions about the project are what will be addressed. We're going to have a frequently asked question review. So ask your questions in chat. If you have questions right now, you can post them in there. We will group them. Jason will work to group them and then we'll answer them at the end. Some of them I think will be answered as we go through the frequently asked questions, but we'll also post those frequently asked questions on a website. So we'll have a link sent around via the email distribution list that we've used so far, and we'll have those frequently asked questions there for everyone to review later. So I think we're ready to go. So if we want to move on to the Centurylink Lumen presentation, I think we're ready. Thank you. And Jason's going to bring up the slides for Centurylink Lumen.
Jason's working his magic.
I can see it.
Well, while Jason does his magic, I'll go ahead and say good afternoon, everybody. My name is Trish Stepanovich, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here. It's exciting to talk to you about what we're doing, especially since this is my backyard as well. I live here. I want to see our community thrive. And so this is exciting times for us. Jason, if you could move to the next slide, that would be great. All right. So, VATI is an important facet in helping to invest in our community's future. And it's taken us into the next gold standard of what communications is going to look like in the future. And I'm excited that we're doing that in our community and also bringing that technology to those folks who have been unserved or underserved. And we all, need an opportunity to be able to invest in our communities and grow them. And this is a great way to do that. You heard Mike speak earlier. You heard him mention CenturyLink and Lumen. And so I want to make sure we do a proper introduction, so to speak. So Lumen is the name of the parent company for us. And Centurylink is a product that you have, if you're here in the county, that you have had access to. And what I'm going to be talking about today is that our company is moving and has developed a new product called Quantum Fiber. It's the latest and greatest, and I'm really excited about it because it's really good game changer for us in terms of what you can expect to receive from us and how we're continuing to redefine what our future looks like for the company. Let me go ahead and go to the next slide. So the things that are really exciting about Quantum Fiber, first and foremost, speed. Gig speed internet is phenomenal in terms of being able to do everything that you need to do every day, whether that's your children who need to do their homework, whether that's you doing a Zoom call like this one today, or if you're streaming your TV services. This can handle all of it, and it's exciting to be able to do that without any buffering or delays in that service. That gig speed is 950 megabits per second. So that I just wanted to make sure you understand that that's the speed, that's the product offering that you'll see. And the other thing about our gig speed is that you've got an enhanced reliability. This is a service that has been proven technology in the industry. It's the gold standard in terms of performance. And with Quantum Fiber, you can expect that network reliability of 99.9%. And that's based on our network uptime and availability. And maybe the best thing that you will see from us is that we're simplifying our business model. There's no annual contract with our services. This is a flat prepaid product offering. It's sort of like a monthly subscription that if you're happy with our services, you stay on for the month. If you're not happy, you're able to disconnect. It is simple. We've changed our platform to be a digital platform where it's very simple and user-friendly and puts the controls in your hands. So this is really the new model for us, and we're excited that we're streamlining it, making it easier for you to do business with us. Okay. Mike has shared that we've got several locations that have been awarded and targeted as part of the 2021 VATI locations. And I'm excited to share with you the schedule that we have currently in place that we're targeting. We are expecting to be prepared to launch at the end of December, the Jones Mill Road location. That on the map that you see to the right is the very furthest left in the center section there. I don't know if Jason, you can highlight that area on the map with an arrow. That would be great. That's towards that right next to Tillman Meriwether. That'll be our first section there. Nice drawing, nice, that's nice. But that community will be our first one. And then we have a very aggressive schedule to move towards the first quarter, which we're really excited about. We expect that the Old Garth Heights will be next in January, followed in February. We will have a couple of them. We will have Tillman, Meriwether, and Snow Hill Lane. Those will be and then wrapping up the first quarter will be the Gilbert Station Road. And then we have a break in the April window. We come back in at the end of May to launch the Advanced Mill Ferry Road section and follow up with the July 31st launch of Milton Hills. And then towards the end of the year, we'll be wrapping up with some of our larger neighborhoods, which will be Box Holly, Taylor's Gap, along with Campbell, Cobham, and Stony Point. and that'll be towards the middle of October. So we've got a lot of work in front of us. We're excited to get in there and get these neighborhoods turned up to for this exciting service. Let me go ahead and go to the next slide. So whenever you're ordering a new service or a new product, you want to know what to expect. And what I've done here is provide a simplified view for all of you. And hopefully this will kind of let you know what to expect as you go through the process. What's important is you have an opportunity to show and let us know you're interested in our product and also how the ordering process will look. We've introduced a new website. It's www.Q.com. Very simple. It is our flagship website to be able to order this particular product. It is, by the way, just for clarification, this is not the same site as Centurylink.com. This is a different product, and so it has a different website. So if you go to Centurylink.com, you will not see this product in that order, in that space. You'll need to go to this new website. You'll be able to pre-order the Qcom fiber typically within 30 days of the launch date. And so that lets us know we can go ahead and start building in our installation and our pre-work scheduling. And as part of that ordering process, I mentioned that it's a fully digital process. So you go onto the website and you'll be able to select the product and services you're looking for, be able to provide your prepayment, and it's as simple as that, all in one, a fully digital experience for you. Now, we do have the means for you to reach out and talk to somebody. We're there 24/7. So you do have the means to chat with us. So if you do get into a situation or you have a question or clarification, you will have that opportunity. And as part of this interest in ordering time frame, we have communications, and I'll give a quick sample here on the next slide or two as to what kind of communication you could expect to see. Oh, hold on. Oh, he's going there. But let me go back to the other slide real quick, just for a sec here. So after the interest in ordering has been done, what you can expect next is that there will be some pre-work that we'll need to do. First and foremost, we'll need to do a buried site check to measure for your fiber drop to come to your home. That task is normally issued the next day after you place the order. It does take a few days. We need to work through Miss Utility 811 service. That's the required service to do locates for utilities. And so we do have to allow for several days upfront to have them complete their work. And then we'll have a third party come in and bury the drop line for you. Then once that's been completed, we'll schedule the install will be complete, will be scheduled with you, and we'll get that completed for you. It should be, worth noting the installation for this does take several hours. We do ask that customers are home during that time. We do our best in this new product to offer you a 2-hour window of when our technician will arrive. So this is no longer an 8 to 5 product offering. So you'll have, a targeted time frame when to know you need to be there and meet the time period that works best for you. So we hope that will be more customer friendly for you as well. Okay. All right, so I wanted to show just a visual of what you could expect when you go to the www.Q.com. This is the landing page that you will see. And at the very top where you see the yellow arrow, it says check availability. That check availability will ask you for your zip and then your street address. And it'll let you know whether we're expecting to have fiber in your area. If so, it'll let you know that you can go ahead and order it. If in the event that we're not quite ready, but you want to let us know you're interested, then you'll be able to give us your email address, and that will let us to stay connected with you and give you regular updates on how things are progressing and when we're ready to be able to take orders for you. And the great thing about this, if you haven't noticed, it's a great price. We talk about affordability and we talk about making this accessible. We feel like we've got a competitive price for our customers for a gig service. This is a $65 price point, and so we feel that's very competitive. And we hope that with the competition out there, you'll see us as a solid provider. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So these are just a couple of samples. I know it might be a little smaller to see, but going from left, there's a communication that says, we've selected you to be among the first for how we do internet. And it mentions about, our fiber is transitioning to quantum fiber, and it gives you some of the details about our, new services. And it also has a code there you can scan to get instant information, or you can certainly connect with us at Qcom. Once we have services available in your neighborhood, the center communication is what you'll see. It'll generally within 30 days of when we're ready to launch and take orders, you'll see that quantum fiber is coming soon. And it'll give you the opportunity to go ahead and learn more, and at that time, be able to take you to the site to be able to place an order if you so choose to. And then if you don't let us know you're interested prior to coming to the 30 days when we launch in your neighborhood, certainly we'll keep you apprised in your neighborhood that we now have fiber available for you, and that'll be the image on the far right. Just letting you know we have quantum fiber available for you. And so if you are interested, you'll be able to select it at that time. So we're trying to make sure you stay informed and have the means to be able to reach us at any time and make it as simple and as easy to do business with us. Okay. Now, Mike said that frequently asked questions. We know that changing from a traditional type service on copper-based may have a lot of questions about what does that service look like, either, different facets of, the construction. What about, maybe medical devices you're concerned about? And so we want to take an opportunity to try to collect as many of those questions up front. Our goal today is not necessarily to go through every question that we've gone ahead here, but what we'll flip through here quickly is give you a sense of some of the sections that we're building out to make it easier for you to be able to reference and see if you have a question that we've already answered, or if you have a new question for us to be able to collect, and we'll provide responses back to. So the first slide here is just a couple of general info questions. Maybe you've heard some different names about Centurylink Lumen, just trying to continue to help clarify, maybe clarifications about will a large neighborhood be, turn up all at once, or will there be different sections? We give some insights into that. So we're just trying to help provide some general overviews on some things that you might have. Jason, if you turn to the next slide, we'll just provide a visibility into some of the sections that we're building out. So we have a frequently asked section for ordering services and letting you know some of the different details about them. On the next slide, we talk a little bit about fiber drops and what you can expect after you've placed your order, provide some clarification around misutility. I'll highlight this just for the sake, because a lot of our owners do have additional private utilities on their property. If you do have something like that, just recognize that we'll need to work in tandem in terms of having locates completed both from what Lumen will facilitate and then also what you'll need to do as well. And if you ever have any questions about that, certainly the broadband office as well as myself will be glad to assist anybody with those sort of clarifications. But we have some different things about the drops, and also it's common questions are around voice services and how does that look and feel differently when we're transitioning from copper to fiber. And so we've provided information here about that. Also, you know, about your cell phone coverage, your reliability, so different things that, you know, from our past VATI programs, we've tried to bubble up the ones that most often get asked. And I think that might be the last of some of our FAQ slides. Jason, are we near the towards the end there?
Yeah, we've got one more voice service slide, but I think we've got a good number of questions. It does sound like some people are having difficulty. It sounds like everybody's having difficulty with the Q.com website right now. What I can offer right now is if everybody can give it a little bit of time, and if they have trouble getting it done by this afternoon, then feel free to email us at baao@albemarle.org. We cannot, you know, get you into their system, but hopefully we will have the whatever issues are going on with the site right now worked out. I'm going to start with a couple of the questions that have come in. I'm actually going to start with the last one. Where is this FAQ located? So if you go to the albemarle.org website, you can find our office under government in the county executive section. And on that page, there is a VATI 2021 website. As soon as this meeting is over, I'm going to update with all of the questions that have come in, answers that we've worked out, and those are going to be added to an FAQ that is going to mirror what you see in this presentation. And that will be available, that FAQ will be available on that page, and it'll be dynamic. It's not going to be a big, long thing. You can just go to the question that you want answered, and we'll have the answers for you. Additionally, we are going to post both of the presentations that you've seen today onto that website, that same page. So that way, all of the information that you need is going to come through that one page. But looking at some of the other questions that have come in, and I'm going to back our slides up so that way we're in the right spot for this first question. We have the question, is the gap in April intended for any catch-up time that may be needed? And also curious why the larger communities are coming towards the end.
Okay. So the gap in April isn't necessarily meant for catch up. We have and Mike, you've got some experience with this. And so our goal based on the timeline of our crews and where we've targeted so far is really meant to be able to keep on to those. We need to be able to transition from a set of groupings for the neighborhoods to be able to transition with those resources into the next batch. So there's sort of a production, so to speak, in terms of certain types of work that will be done in the engineering process that transitions into the permitting and so forth. So that is really just the time frame of how the projects ended up working. You know, Mike, I know you and Derek, and I apologize, one of our members that worked heavily with Mike on the original schedule, they worked more closely on this. Mike, I don't know that I had any strong input on whether the sections came towards the end or towards the beginning, but do you want to speak on that, maybe from a little bit of a history perspective?
Yeah, sure, Trish. I think, you know, we've seen this April gap. The best answer for everyone is that these are estimated dates. We hope to hit these deadlines. There's some additional work that has to be going on in the engineering department. And what we'll do is we'll go back to the engineering department at Centurylink Lumen and talk to them about what the actual plans are. So really good question. We'll get back with you on an answer about what's going on during that time frame. So I appreciate that and great pointing it out. Yep.
And we do have questions coming in about specific areas and trying to suss out exactly whether you're in the project area or not. once we've got confirmation that the Q.com website is functioning and everybody can start to put in their addresses, that should provide some verification. But if you continue to have questions, again, email us, baao@albemarle.org, and give us a few days. We're obviously going to get a lot of these requests. We're going to try to handle them as a batch, but we will get back to everybody that is asking about specific addresses. The ideal way to do that is through the Q.com website, but if there are any difficulties with that, feel free to reach out to us. And now,
Jason,
yep.
Jason, just so you know, I just tried it both on Internet Explorer and on Chrome. They both came up just as quick as could be. So I always want to encourage folks just to check your internet connection, just to make sure you haven't got a Microsoft update happening or something that might be preventing you. But both of them looked like they were operational. Didn't see any issues there, but.
Right. And then we have a couple of questions about network or the build out timing. So looking at questions regarding whether signing up as interested is going to affect the timing of the build out, and also questions about low hanging fruit within larger projects to expedite rollout in certain areas. I think we covered that in part of the FAQ regarding whether the project areas are going to be lit up all at once or whether they're going to be phased. And correct me if I'm wrong, Trish, but the expectation right now is that most of the projects are going to get lit up all at once. However, in some of the larger projects, especially the Stony Point, Campbell Cobham, those are going to be broken up into convenient chunks. So as an area gets completed, that area is going to go ahead and go live, and then work will move to the next area over.
That's correct.
Awesome. And then we've got some technical questions. So will the service be symmetrical? And what sorts of latency can we expect?
That question is actually in our frequently asked question section, and the service is symmetrical, both up and download. Latency, I think latency is always a tricky question because people's perspective around latency is whether they are wireless or wired to the connection. So wireless can certainly create some challenges on latency, depending on your physical device and or multitude of devices that may be connected, or if something's happening in terms of the home. But when you're wired, you should pretty much not expect to see any latency on that front. So.
And then a question from Jennifer, upload and download speeds. What is the lowest speed of that Lumen finds acceptable as opposed to the up to speed?
Are we talking about the product offering speed? Yeah. That we can go down to the 200, I believe it was, on the fiber component?
I think they're actually asking about what is, if you order gigabit speed, up to gig speed, then what does Lumen consider acceptable speeds?
We expect to be selling up to the 940.
All right, and sorry, I'm still seeing questions about the website coming in. Again, I will send out a link to our VATI 2021 website for everybody. But again, if you have trouble by this afternoon using the website, feel free to email us.
And Jason, if we need to, I think I've got an address I was just taking a quick peek at. I think I could do a demo of that.
Oh, okay.
While you continue to do some things, let me just do a quick check here and I can show some folks that information.
All right. If you want to double check, I will look and see what other questions we've had. Questions about the installs, the fiber installs. If they need to cut across a driveway, will the cable be bored under the driveway? And then a more general question, are these lines going in the ground or over the power lines?
So first question, yes, we will bore under a driveway if that is if that's the solution that we need to take, and we will be burying them in the yards. They will not go with the power line.
All right, and I think this question actually comes to us, Mike. Will anyone that received an email about this meeting automatically be on the distribution list for rollout and construction? So the list that if you received an email from us about this this meeting, then you are on the distribution list, and we're going to keep you there. So you'll hear about all of the future meetings, and you will hear about the other meetings. The survey link, if you guys want to try that again, it should be working. I adjusted the sharing settings. That one will be, that we will reconcile the two. And so anybody that did not receive that first email from us, who maybe had it forwarded by somebody else, feel free to get registered. You'll be added to the list, and we will make sure that everybody that has attended, got the original email or signed up, they're going to be on the distribution list moving forward. These are going to be monthly meetings. So again, we're hoping that we can refine all the questions that get asked now, so that in a few months, the only people that are going to be signing up are going to be people waiting to hear, am I close to my start date? Am I close to being able to sign up? One more speed question, and this is a clarifying question from Waldo. So I'm going to read it directly. So the connection is up to 940, but what it is as slow as, what is the minimum speed that I think he's trying to get to? What is the minimum speed on an up to 940 connection that users can expect?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if our product team has given me that answer in terms of how they publish that. So let me do this. Let me make sure I'm read that better and make sure I follow up, just so that I don't want to give a false answer, but I'm not sure we publish sort of what do we think is the minimum speed when we say that we have symmetrical service at 940 megabits per second. So we're generally not saying, hey, we're going to be something minimum of 200 or 150. We're expecting that to be a full symmetrical service. So let me take that as a follow-up and make sure we get an answer back.
Okay, so we will make sure that that gets posted within the FAQ, whatever the answer comes back as. Another answer or another question that is also in the FAQ, somewhat in the FAQ, what customer premise equipment is used for this service? So what is it exactly that's going to be in somebody's house when they sign up for this service?
So we have, at any given point in time, we've got a couple of different devices. Some of the customers who have our service, we may still be able to use one of the more recent gateways that they have. We have a CX3000. We also have a 4000 gateway model that we're currently using. I would say our product could change in terms of our gateway that we plan to give to the customer, as well as the ONT. So if we certainly can provide descriptions of those, but I would say that we reserve the right to go ahead and make product changes as we continue to improve our services. So we can provide those details in the FAQ if need be.
And from the FAQ, we recall there is no need for any fancy equipment involved here. This is going to be 110 volt. When you sign up, you will have opportunities to choose the equipment that you're going to receive, depending on both the services that you want, but also the other additional equipment that you might need, such as the power backup option. Let's see, I think from my original list, we've still got some questions coming in. Can Centurylink Lumen describe the approach that will be applied for any properties that were originally part of the awarded VATI 2021 project, but which had to be removed due to RDOF conflicts, meaning separate from the VATI funding? Will Centurylink Lumen connect gig speed fiber to these properties either at the same time as the VATI rollout or at some point shortly thereafter?
Mike, do you want to speak a little bit on those properties that have been removed first?
Yes, I can talk about the federal government. The FCC put in place what is called the Regional Development or the Rural Development Opportunity Fund, otherwise known as RDOF. And that was an auction that happened after our application for VATI funding went in. So the process there was the funding that was released through RDOF required DHCD and VATI to take areas out of our original VATI 2021 application. It's difficult to explain. I'd like to take the explanation further offline. The positive of that is that being in the RDOF application area also means that you will be receiving service, but it'll be from a different provider. So that's the best answer I can provide right now, and I'm glad to address it offline. So thanks for the question, a good question.
Yeah, and we can definitely make sure that some clarity on the rescope and the RDOF locations will be included in the FAQ. And we'll obviously collaborate with Centurylink as well to make sure that the answer is right on their end. Is the launch date the expected start of a project area or the expected light up date? So when on that map that we're looking at right now, the dates that you see are the expected launch dates to receive service or launch dates to start construction in those areas?
Those are dates to start services, to be able to 30 days from, let's say from 12/1, we're looking to be able to start saying we're getting ready to be able to launch those neighborhoods.
So for instance, the Jones Mill Road in households that are going to be included, they should be able to expect service within about 30 days of now.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. We see some thank yous. Thank you for that. Are the crews checking with the property owners on which they are placing staging equipment? The large ones on Jones Mill are currently parked on private property used to grow hay or cattle. It sounds like that might be a question. You know, we obviously want to make sure, and that's part of what the county's commitment is, to provide some staff oversight to make sure that residents are comfortable with what is going on during the construction phase. So Ms. Jones, if you want to send us an email specifically about what you're referring to, we will make sure that Trish is informed about any questions or concerns that you guys have. And we're hopeful, again, that in the near future, we're going to have staff capacity to be out with the crews that are doing the work, monitoring and addressing any questions or concerns as they come up. Another technical question coming in: does the CPE support bridged mode?
Does the CPE do bridge mode? Yeah, why don't we go ahead and put that on the FAQ and we'll follow up so they can see the device details along with that.
That works. So we will try to get some device specific answers for them.
Yeah, they'll be able to see those details in that way. I'm sure usually that question leads to other questions on a technical basis.
And I will, so there's another question. So when you get service, will you get a new router? My understanding is you guys are going to provide whatever equipment is requested. If somebody has their own equipment and they want to keep the existing equipment, as long as it's compatible with whatever service they're receiving, then they can keep that equipment. But if, for instance, they're transitioning from a DSL modem with a Wi-Fi component, they'll obviously get new equipment in that instance.
That is correct. When we do the installation of the service, we do have our gateway there. We will verify all the services are up and running with our gateway. If the customer does not want to have that gateway, we will go ahead and verify and let them see that we've got gig services running to their home, and then we will let them go ahead and utilize their CPE equipment.
If Centurylink Lumen has to provide customer premises equipment, is that cost included in the cost shown earlier, or are there unavoidable equipment rental costs in addition to those base prices?
Good question. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is included. You caught me. I actually don't know if I remembered that. The product is so new, I'm not sure I've memorized that just yet. There may be a rental fee on that one. Typically in the CPE space, we do have a rental fee. However, this is a new product. There are certain things that as we're launching it, our company is providing certain things free. So it could always change on us. So we can take a look at that when we go do the demo on the site.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I think I am.
Awesome. Then I will stop sharing my screen, and I believe you have share access. Who can share? All panelists can share. Yep, that's you.
All right, I'll go ahead and share my screen, and we'll go. I'll just start with the Google website here. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, we've got you.
All right, perfect. All right, let's just type in www.q.com. There we go. So as the screenshot that I shared on our deck, here's what that looks like. You have why quantum fiber, some of the introductions, products that are available with it as well. If you're a small business, you have information here too. We're going to go, I shared the check availability. That's going to give us a quick second here to load up the form. It's going to ask me to do a verification. So I've got an address here that I know offers this. Okay. And let me try this address. Here we go. We've got options here. So we've got up to 940, and we also have our 200 megabits per second. And let's look at what's included. I've got the no contracts, no bundles. We've got the reliability, super download and super fast speeds, which of course gig speed is. You have the ability to stream your 4K and HD content, unlimited data, and we're currently offering a $200 reward card. And you can see the details there. Oh, let me go back actually. There was a little section here. I was going to say, I think this is where I want to I didn't want to scoot over that little bottom section there here. Prepay required additional. So let's go ahead and just look at that. So there is all the details, the fine print, as usually comes with offers. Centurylink provides the modem may be required for internet lease up to $15 a month. And that could be subject to an increase or a one-time purchase up to $200. So there are some of the details there. And you have the choice to read through it says modem fee will be waived if the customer signs up for service during a designed initial time frame. So that's why I said the offering that we're doing can change over time. So do please read the details of the offer. So we'll go ahead and hit next. And from there, you have the option to select whether you'd like to have the one from us or if you have a customer provided modem. And here currently, you see that the premium modem currently is at $0 per month. And from there, it's going to ask you for your name, your email address, if you have a referral code, if you've got a business name. Indicate that you are 18 years of age or older. Are you an existing customer or not? Give us some details about your preferences for your communication. And once you go through that and you continue, you will be asked for your information for scheduling an install, which is, you can see the path that you're going to end. You're going to select your date, and then you're going to set up your recurring payment. Again, treat this like a subscription. So subscribing to your service, it'll be a prepaid monthly service. And as soon as you do that, that is as simple as ordering the services with us. And at the bottom here, you do have the option if you do need some support. We've got a dedicated fiber team that is here to answer your questions, whether that be for an installation or a repair, and they are available 24/7.
A couple more questions coming in. Are existing CenturyLink fiber customers being transitioned to Quantum Fiber as well?
They are. This is our newest designed services, and it's really, I mean, from top to bottom, we have redefined our billing platform, our digital platform, our inventorying system for the new fiber gold standard of what we're looking to bring forward to our customers. And so we are in fact transitioning those Centurylink fiber products over into this space.
And then another question regarding the sale. So those customers that transition to Quantum Fiber, those customers that were previously CenturyLink Fiber or that involved in this VATI 2021 rollout, those will be transitioning to Brightspeed at a later date. Is that right?
It is. Okay. And so let me touch on that. We tried not to confuse Lumen and Brightspeed, but there is a section in the frequently asked questions about there is a transition that's happening with Lumen. Lumen has decided to divest 20 of its states and its properties to an investment firm called Apollo. Apollo Investments has announced that the new company for these 20 states was going to be called Brightspeed. Currently, that is still very early in the stages with both state and federal process in terms of the sale of those assets. And so right now it's really too early to say, exactly what will happen at the customer level. But one thing that I think we can share, and that if you look up Brightspeed, they're very committed to the same efforts we're talking about with VATI, and that is bringing fiber to our rural communities and expanding our current services to support that. So they're in alignment with what our goal is here and in partnership with the Broadband Authority.
And we've got some questions about the deployment. Where can we find our local design that will display the location of the street fiber terminals? I know in the FAQ we briefly touch on that final engineering and thus the location isn't going to be determined until construction has begun in a specific project area, but will there be a resource for the public to see where those fiber terminals are going to be?
No, that's a great question. I don't know if last time, Mike, we had an opportunity to share that detail with customers, and that may be something we need to go back and take a look and see how we can best facilitate that if that's a need for the community here. What are your thoughts on that?
In the past, we've asked for this type of information, but it is proprietary. Mm-hmm. There may be a way to get something more on this since we have this question frequently, and it's important to know as the build out happens because of placement of the fiber terminals themselves. So I think that's done on a case-by-case basis without making all of the information public. So there will be some opportunities to talk about fiber placement with the engineers and with Trish during the actual rollout. So thanks for that question. It's an important one. Wish we had more information we could share. But right now, it'll have to come within individual conversations with groups.
And then trying to get some clarity on the website issues that people are having. One of the things I want to make sure. So when you have if people, for instance, in the Stony Point area put in their information right now, it should show as service not available. Is that correct?
You know what? I hadn't actually tried that. I would imagine so, that it would say that it would not be available at this time. And
the expectation is then that within 30 days. So looking at your start dates, in a 30-day window, somewhere in a 30-day window from when construction starts, that's when addresses should start to show as available on the Q.com website.
That's my current understanding. We'll certainly, I'd like to take a couple of the Jones mail addresses and let's go ahead and take a look at those. We want to make sure that our customers, are seeing that. Certainly for those customers, we still want to be able to take those that are interested well in advance of the 30 days so that they can provide us their details. So
Right.
one way or the other, our system should be able to capture their information and let us know which stage they're in, whether they're in the interest stage or they're ready to be ordering the product.
And so for those experiencing that issue of they're putting in their address and it's not showing up as available right now, for the most part, that is what we're expecting for as your project area starts to come online. Then that's when you should be able to search your address and it will show as available and you'll be able to start putting your order in. It sounds like right now we're still having an issue with the tell me when service is available portion, and we will obviously work with you guys to get that sorted and then make sure that people are able to fill out that component after this call. So I think we can leave that there for now. Another question on VoIP. So first, what are the phone service costs? And then there was a question about is that going to lose, if we lose power, are we going to lose phone service? And one of the attendees actually answered that, and that's true. So when it is an internet-based system, so unless there's a battery backup or a generator powering your internet devices, your connectivity devices, then you will lose phone service when power is out if you transition to fiber from landline.
That is correct. We do recommend, and this is across all of, any of the providers who are currently providing fiber. There is a battery backup that you can purchase from Lumen and or you can purchase independently. We also recommend, because of the nature of these underserved areas, many already have generators and other means to keep power going, especially if they have some necessity to do so, would that be medical or just in terms of keeping their family safe with alarm systems and so forth. So we do recognize that is an opportunity that customers need to be aware and self-assess whether that's a need they have for their family.
Great. And then,
we do have, just so you know, we do have a couple, we do have battery backups in some of our services as well. But if we have let's say we have a significant snowstorm and, we're out for 4 days, we'll probably keep you available for 4 to 8 hours post an outage. But after that, our services will be dependent. Dominion Energy has power lines down, we'll be at the mercy of the commercial power as well. And then we'll work towards generator power
Right.
for our services too.
Awesome. Questions about our start dates. And this one, again, I think comes to us. So the start dates that you saw on that map, and we can put that back up if that's helpful. Those are the expected schedule as of now. And as those shift, if they shift, you will get that update. Everybody will get that update on these calls. So it's one of the reasons that we're having these monthly calls, is so that as things change, we can let everybody know. We are hopeful that we can keep marching through this project as is stated. But if there are any changes that need to be made, this is where you're going to be able to find that information, as well as, again, on our website, on the specific VATI 2021 page and in the FAQ.
Hey, Jason, while you take a moment to take a look over some of the other questions, I just wanted to make sure I did pick an address here in Charlottesville that I knew wasn't going to be available. So it just indicated that that particular product isn't available. Mm-hmm. And it says, hang in there, we'll let you know when it is. Maybe one thing I wanted to show, if you scroll down just a little bit here, it says, tell me when I can get. That will be the important area. And you can also select, hey, I'd like to have information so that I can be notified for those updates. And that will be the opportunity here, so that if you are looking for your services or you don't see information, this is where I'll go ahead and select on that. See what, so folks can actually see that.
sounds like that button right there is the thing that everybody.
That may be what the challenge is. I'm just trying to think if I'm
yeah.
getting stuck on here as well. Okay, I'll check in on it. Maybe that was the piece that folks were mentioning. So
yeah, I think that is where we are hung up. And like I said, we're going to be working with them with Centurylink Quantum Lumen to make sure that this is working, and then we will transition again in the interim. If you can hit our registration link that was supplied, and then I will repost again as we start to wrap up. You will get on our distribution list, which makes sure that you will be invited to attend these meetings the next time that we have them, which will be in about a month. And we will make sure that we can follow up when we know that the tell me when CenturyLink or when Quantum Service is available link is working. Another question, and I think that might be the last one. Would it be possible to confirm after this call, if necessary, whether the $15 per month equipment rental is waived or enforced for those of us who sign up as part of the VATI rollout? And if waived, is that for some limited period of time or the life of the account?
Mike, I don't believe in terms of the VATI component, we covered any of the modem or gateway costs as part of that process, correct?
Yes, that's correct. It's based on, however Quantum moves forward with their contract with individual customers. So there was nothing defined that lifetime modem use would be included. Hopefully that answers that question. Not in the way people would like to hear it, but certainly in a way that it was intended.
That's correct. And the policy, of course, for the company can always change, but currently, as is, the fine print is there letting you know that those are, whether we're waiving the monthly fee and or if we decide to at some point not to change that policy, then it would likely be a recurring fee.
Yes.
I neglected to press you on Ms. Kaplan's question, cost of phone service along with internet. So what is the cost right now for adding VoIP service?
So generally what I would recommend is that the transition we've seen with VATI is that folks are moving from their CenturyLink product to a Quantum Fiber product, and they're going to the VoIP services. So there is a connected voice component with that. And those are the options that you've got for that. For the $65 fee, you can look to see if there's an additional service or incremental that doesn't meet your needs. You can certainly look on our product page and look to see what else you might need to meet your family's needs. So we can certainly give you any additional details or help you walk you through that if you need to.
So just to clarify, so the $65 includes VoIP service, or there's an additional fee above the $65 to add VoIP service?
I believe it's been a little bit since this is a brand new product. The connected voice may have a $20 charge. I think there's an additional charge for that, but customers recognize that when you do have fiber, you can do Wi-Fi calling. So you can use your Wi-Fi services potentially for that. Let me go ahead and take a quick peek, and let me get back to you on that real quickly, Jason. The pricing, like I said, with this being a new product, things are changing. So we're just trying to make sure we're doing, customers go to the site so that we get the right answers. And as things are being offered, we're trying to make sure we're giving competitive offerings on our products as well. We do know that the price for the fiber component is that $65, and anything else would be, an incremental, but we offer promotional deals as well.
Awesome. And while you're looking at that information, I wanted to just remind everybody, I'm going to post it right now. So hopefully this link is working now, but we have a link to a survey, a registration form that we'd love for you guys to fill out. That would give us insight into your project area, and it would help us to make sure that we've got your current email address, and we've got everybody's email address, that with the next time that we have one of these, we can invite everybody and we can make sure that everybody's got the information that they need. I think we're getting a lot of thank yous. I don't think that I've missed any questions. So I think we're ready to start wrapping up. Mike, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, I very much appreciate all the testing that happened. Unfortunately, I guess Qcom was not responding to everyone. So please try again, and we're going to track down that issue and make sure it's working so that you can pre-register. Really appreciate all the input there. Great questions today. Thank you to the Centurylink Lumen staff that helped provide this. And Jason, what an outstanding job on doing the chat management. Really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for the great questions. Appreciate it. And have a great weekend. If we don't hear from you, but send us an email, baao@albemarle.org, and we'll answer some of the questions I know we didn't have time to answer today. So thanks.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you, Trish. And thank you all for attending.
All right. Thank you.
Stopping recording, and I think we're out. Thank you all.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I capture all